everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be about persisting when the 3D circumstances are showing you the opposite. Now, I know that persisting, it can get really frustrating and it can get really tired when you feel like you've been persisting and you're not seeing results, and even more so when you've been persisting and the 3D starts to show you sort of the opposite of what you're manifesting. For example, if you're trying to manifest a large sum of money or a higher income and then you lose your job or get laid off for some reason, or have to make a really big expenditure, pull a bunch of money out of your savings, it kind of feels like you want to be here and all of a sudden you go from here to here and you feel even further from your desire. Persisting during this time is crucial, and really it's the only way to ensure that you are going to get your manifestation. That is the thing about persistence, is it is meant to be consistent, whether the 3D is showing you movement in the direction, or at least logically in the direction or seemingly in the direction of your desires, or whether the 3D is showing you the opposite or makes you feel like you're backtracking. The key is to take everything as progress. Everything is happening in your favor. Everything is unfolding in order for you to achieve your desires. Even the bad stuff, even the stuff that's frustrating, even the stuff that feels painful or creates a bunch of negative emotions in you. I promise you that if you stick it through the process and get through that difficult squeeze, you'll see what I mean. And I know that it's one of those things where it's hard to believe if you have not gone through it yourself. But there have been many occasions where I have been extremely emotional, highly reactive to the 3D circumstances, and still got my desires, still manifested what I was aiming to manifest. So, if you need to feel emotional, if you need to feel the frustration, if you need to scream or cry or, move your body, jump around, exercise, like punch a pillow, scream into a pillow, yell out the window while you're driving, anything to release those emotions that you're feeling to help you cope with the situation, like, you're absolutely welcome to do that. I will never tell you that reacting to the 3D is going to cause delays or it's going to make it more difficult for you to bring about your manifestations. I don't believe that. I believe if you are experiencing any sort of negativity, or if you are moving through really tough emotions and you are reacting to the 3D, that is a normal experience. That is perfectly reasonable to happen because you are going from a state of not having your desire to having your desire. There are going to be ups and downs on that journey. It's never going to be a straight line. It's never going to be super easy and consistent to just be like every day waking up, seeing the 3D and trusting the I am within you, right? The God within you, the source within you, the power within you that is responsible for bringing about your manifestations. You are a human being, you have emotions. Reacting to the 3D is not going to set you back. Now, here's a little disclaimer about that. It will set you back if you do not persist. So if you get so consumed in the 3D circumstances that you either give up on your desires or start to question whether you want your desires or not, or question whether those desires are worth it or not, and that leads you to not keeping up with your affirmations, not scripting, not doing visualizations, not doing any techniques, not believing in it, right? Because it's not the techniques that make it work. The techniques are one manifestation, is one way of the manifestation coming about, but the techniques themselves are not what it's about. It's all about the belief. Now, if when the 3D causes you to react, you lose touch with the belief that it is possible for you, that it is going to happen, and you stay there, then of course your manifestation is not going to come about. But if when you do react to the 3D, you say, okay, I've reacted, I've responded, I have cried it out, I have grieved, I have felt the pain, I'm now going to choose differently. I'm now going to go back to my regimen, whether that was affirming, scripting, visualizing, meditating, whatever floats your boat. As long as you go back to that pattern of behavior, as long as you bring yourself back to your desire, as long as you find a way to navigate from that feeling of reaction from the 3D to the feeling of living in the end with your desire, it doesn't matter how you react. It doesn't matter how emotional you get. It doesn't matter how frustrated you get. It doesn't matter even if you do respond to the 3D by taking action. You know, that may or may not create delays depending on the severity of your reaction to it, but mainly I'm talking about your inner experience. Reacting emotionally to the 3D is not going to cause you delays in your manifestation. All that is doing is clearing those emotions so that you can move forward. Now, the whole reason that you want to express those emotions is because, number one, they're genuine. Those are your emotions. Your emotions are there to guide you. Emotions are part of our internal guidance system that help us take the data that's going on out here and how it aligns with our beliefs and interpret that so that we can use our judgment to move forward in the best way possible. Now, obviously, like if you find yourself getting really angry every time you're around a certain person, that is going to be data that says, okay, either I'm going to have to figure out why this person's always making me angry, or I'm going to have to remove this person if I don't want to feel angry, right? Or like if a song comes on and makes you sad all the time, like, you know, either try to figure out why it's making you sad and work through the underlying triggers, or just avoid the song, right? Our emotions are there to inform our decisions. So by reacting to the 3D in an emotional way, you're just affirming what you actually desire. Because if you're seeing the 3D is opposite of what you desire, of course it's going to hurt, because you really want whatever it is you're manifesting. You really strongly desire to achieve or have or be whatever you're manifesting. It's going to hurt when you don't have it. That is just how we are as human beings. That's not something that's ever going to go away. Even as you level up, even as your manifestations get bigger and bigger. You know, we generally start off with small manifestations and work our way up to things that are bigger, and bigger's subjective here. I can make a different video about that, but ultimately what I'm getting at is it doesn't matter if you have an emotional reaction. Let yourself have that emotional reaction so that you can remove those emotions, remove those negative energies from your body, and get back on track. This is kind of like what happens when people lose weight and they lose 5 pounds and then gain 5 pounds back, and they kind of have this attitude of like, screw it, I'm done, I failed, I messed up, like I'm never gonna have this happen. Or like, you know, if they're trying to stick to a diet and then they don't stick to the diet one day, then like for one meal, and then the whole day they throw out the whole day, and then that can turn into 2 days and 3 days. You see what I mean? It's the habit. Manifestation and persistence is all about the habits that you are forming, and in order to form a habit you have to continuously choose it. So it's okay if you react to the 3D, but choose from there to come back to your persistence. Choose from there to come back to whatever methods work for you, whatever grounding exercises work for you, whether that is doing an exercise that helps you to feel good in your body, or hanging out with people who make you feel loved and worthy, or watching a favorite movie, or listening to a song that puts you in a better mood, or anything like that. The whole point is to not stay there. Do not stay in the reaction. Do not stay in the defeat. Do not stay in those negative emotions, because if you stay, you won't just stay, you'll spiral. You'll continue to drag yourself down and down and down and down, and then potentially you're not even starting off at square one anymore. Potentially you're starting off miles before where your original starting point was, because you allowed yourself to spiral. So in order to persist through difficult experiences, in order to be consistent with your manifestation, even when the 3D is showing you that it's not happening, there's no movement in favor of your manifestation, the 3D is showing you everything that you don't want to see, you don't want to experience, you have to trust that everything is always working out for you. And something I do myself when I am experiencing moments like that is I'll remind myself, okay, this is not what I want to see, it's not what I want to experience, this is difficult, this is frustrating. And I'll take a pause and I'll say, everything is always working out for me. Everything is going exactly as it should be. And there's this little voice in my head that's like, even this? And I'm like, even this. And that kind of resonates with me in a way where it's like, even if in that moment I'm having trouble believing that this too, the difficult situation also is part of the bridge of incidents from your desire to your manifestation fulfilled, it's a grounding exercise that keeps you trusting, that keeps you believing, that keeps you feeling like, even though I don't understand why it has to happen like this, I trust that this must need to happen for some reason in order for me to get my desire. This must be a part of the process for me, either to purge something, to outgrow a limiting belief, to remove negative emotions from our body, to toughen ourselves up to certain triggers, to test our beliefs. And sometimes I believe the reason our 3D will show us the opposite of our manifestation, or opposite of our desire to manifestation rather, is to test us. It's like God asking, do you really want this thing? I know you asked for it, and I know you've been asking for it, but do you really want it? And how bad do you really want it? And that's the other thing that will help me to move through those difficult emotions, is like, do I really want this thing? And I sit there and I contemplate, I'm like, yeah, I still really want this thing. And sometimes it's more obvious. Sometimes like, heck yes, I still want this thing. But regardless, I do that little check-in with myself, and then from there, I ask myself, okay, how bad do I really want it? Because if I really want it, if I really desperately can't stop thinking about it, if I can't let it go, if I can't walk away from the desire, if I can't settle for less, if I refuse to move forward in my life having any other possibility than that, then I know that my desire is strong enough to persist. And if my desire is strong enough to persist, I am going to persist. I am going to trust the process. I'm going to trust that no matter what the 3D is showing me, no matter what the mirror is showing me, I am going to trust deep within, in my knowing, in my power, in my beliefs, in my God, in my understanding of the universe, in my framework that sets the tone for how I manifest, what I believe in terms of manifestation, and what works for me. And I'm going to stick to my beliefs. I'm going to double down on my beliefs. I'm going to keep myself that much more committed to persisting until the desire has arrived in the 3D. And ultimately, it gets easier over time. The more things that you manifest, the more you start to be like, oh, okay, I know what this is. Like, this is the purge, or, this is just me needing to learn how to be more unbothered, or, sometimes I don't even try to rationalize it. Sometimes I'm just like, okay, if this is God's plan, this is God's plan. If this is how the universe needs to do its work to unfold my desire, Jesus, take the wheel, right? Like, I don't care. I don't care what I have to go through. I don't care what I have to experience. I don't care what the 3D has to show me from the time I have the desire to the time the desire is manifested. I don't care. It does not matter to me personally what happens between point A and point B, because I'm not going to get stuck there. I'm always going to return back to the feeling of having the desire fulfilled. I'm always going to revert back to, like, reminding myself how bad I want this desire, how much I want this to be a part of my life, to be a part of my identity, to be a part of my existence in this vessel, in this lifetime. And that's going to keep me persistent. That's going to keep me optimistic. That's going to keep me trusting that my desires really will come to me, no matter what the 3D circumstances show me. And again, like I said, it gets much easier over time. So if you are in the struggle, trust me, like, I've been there, I am there. We're always manifesting, we're always working towards goals, and all of us, every single human being on this planet will experience a setback. Every single human on this planet will experience something in the 3D that is not desirable. Every single one of us have experienced the opposite of our manifestation being shown to us in the 3D at some point, whether that was for a small manifestation or a big manifestation, whether that was for something we were manifesting unconsciously or consciously, like, it does not matter. We all face adversity. We all face instances where the 3D is showing us the opposite of our desires, and yet here we all are. We're still working towards our goals. We are still believing and achieving and persisting. So trust me when I say I get it, and it's something that you're not going through alone. Like, we are all part of this collective experience together. We are all having a universal experience as human beings, in spite of the fact that we are having individual experiences as well. It's kind of like this harmonious, simultaneous thing going on, and it's really beautiful when you think about it. So my final bit of advice is, even when the 3D is showing you the opposite and those negative emotions are going to come up, like, I swear to God, like, I will thank God with tears streaming down my face. Like, I will pray in the middle of a meltdown. Like, I will just be like, thank you God for this too. Like, thank you for this too. Like, I'm gonna get a little bit emotional. Thank you for the good, thank you for the bad. If this is something I'm experiencing, I trust that, like, you are showing me this because I need to experience it. I trust that you are showing me this because this is also part of my desire unfolding. Like, I am thankful for this because I know that even this is part of the unfolding of my manifestation, and I'm thankful for that, and I'm thankful for every step of the way, and I'm thankful for every facet of the human experience. I'm thankful for the tears, and I'm thankful for the rage, and I'm thankful for the humor, and I'm thankful for the joy. I'm thankful for the discomfort and the pain, and growing sometimes is uncomfortable and painful, but it always ends beautifully because we are here to develop ourselves. We are here to grow. We are here to persist in our desires. We are here to manifest everything that we feel called and inspired to manifest. It's just a process. It's a process. And kind of like how we will gather all the ingredients to bake a cake, but no matter what happens, that cake still has to bake. And if we pull it out too early, we're not going to be satisfied. So we have to exercise some patience. And the biggest thing in patience is trust. So long as you trust that your desire is coming, no matter what the 3D shows you, it is so much easier to persist. I'm going to tell you right now, I am with you. I believe in you. I trust that your manifestations are coming. I trust in your ability to manifest, and whether you believe in the law of assumption, whether you believe in God or spirituality or not, it doesn't matter. It is always unfolding in your favor. I hope that this video helped. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and leave a comment or a like or subscribe to the channel for more. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm also taking email coaching clients. My email is in the description, where basically we can troubleshoot your manifestations and I can come up with some custom affirmations for you to rampage. Or if you just have any questions for me and don't want to leave them in the comments section, you're welcome to leave them there as well. So if you enjoyed this video, stay tuned for more. Have a good one.